Okay. Alrighty. What's good, yo? My fault. I was like doing a couple of things around the house. Yo, man, this is so much better. I'm so glad I upped the saturation. I actually look like myself. Oh, man. How we doing today? Welcome back. Welcome back to the stream. Let me just quickly test my levels. Should have done that before I came on stream, but all good. Oh. Okay. My mic is being a little weird right now. Okay. It's like hanging on for a thread. By a thread. All right. Let me hit the stream. Let me see what's good. Make sure I sound okay. Chop chop. Okay, we're good. Let me hit record. All right, we're recording. Podcast has started. How we doing? Hope everyone is okay. Welcome back to stream. Don't mind me. I'm a little bummed out today because I just came. I was supposed to start stream at like 7:30. That was my own mental time lapse there. But I went to go find J. Cole because he was in New York City today. So around 3 o'clock, 3:30, I checked my newly created Twitter account just to track this guy, which in the end, I didn't even need in the first place. But yeah, I made a Twitter yesterday. Don't worry what it is. I've already deleted it. To track this guy, to track J. Cole. So around 3 o'clock or something like that, he tweets out, I'm in New York City, and I'm like, all right, I have a couple of ideas on where I think he could be. So take a shower. I finished up cleaning around the house. Take a shower. I head out. I go to Irving Plaza because that's where you have the Dollar and a Dream concerts at. And pretty dumb of me to go there, considering he's probably not going to spend more than a day in New York. So where would he obviously be? None other than St. John's. So I was like, all right, let me start heading that way. As I'm walking to the train, I checked Twitter. And I'm like, oh shit, someone says he's in Jamaica, Queens specifically. So I'm like, all right, bet, let me go over there. Fucking takes me an hour and a half to get there. From Manhattan, from Union Square. It took me like an hour and a half. Because I had the bright idea of taking the F train So I was going to take it to 179, which I should have. In the long run, I should have done that. I instead took it to Briarwood because I was going to, the strat was if he's on Hillside and there's no direct, like, you know, pinpoint address or whatever, then Hillside isn't too long. I'll just take an Uber along all of Hillside Avenue throughout Jamaica, Queens. And that should be like a 10-15 minute drive. So I take this shit. Bro, tell me why it takes 45 whole minutes just to drive like, I don't know, like 15, 20 blocks. I'm like, damn, bro. Like, I'm like sitting in traffic. The Uber driver's like, you know, being whatever. And I'm just like, you know, it's not your fault, but I am upset about the traffic right now. Specifically because I'm in a rush. And the train had already like had like 2 5-minute delays on like the last 3 or 4 stops, which are the longest stops there. So I'm like, all right. I'm like, I feel the pressure. I'm like, he's not going to be there forever. But like, if he's going to be there for like an hour or two, then I'm really cutting it close on that second hour. So like halfway through, I finally like, you know, see there's the fall off Instagram, and there's like an actual, like, there's an exact pin for the deli. So I'm like, all right, cool. I know exactly where we're supposed to go now. We just got to get through this traffic. And unfortunately, we never got through the traffic. Like by the time we got through the intersection, that's Chopper. Hi, Chopper. You want to say hi? You want to say hi to stream? Come here. You itchy? Chopper says hi, everyone. Say hi, Chopper. Say hi to stream. Big fat belly boy. Do a little dance for them. Make a little love. Get down tonight. Get down tonight. Yo, yo, yo. See, that's why I love ferrets. You guys are just so chill. Y'all don't do nothing. Can I get a kiss? Can I get a kiss? Thank you. All right. Okay. So the traffic doesn't end until about 2 or 3 blocks, no, like 3 or 4 blocks before the destination I was supposed to go to. And I already had set an extra stop on the Uber to go to St. John's if he wasn't at this spot. But I was like, damn, I don't know exactly where it's at. I'm going to have to like let this guy drop me off and figure it out. So I canceled the second stop because I'm like, it's like, I didn't have like a portable charge with me. My shit's already kind of like on 30-40%. And I got like an hour and a half trip back home. So I'm like, I don't want to take the chance of my phone dying and then like I'm assed out for whatever reason. So get to the exact deli and I'm like, damn, he's not here. And I'm not about to walk around a couple of blocks in Jamaica, Queens at night because it's not my hood. So, you know, I'm not going to take the chance. I'm like, damn, he probably went to St. John's. And it's not too far from where I was at. Like, it's probably like another 10-15 minute drive at most. I think there was like a 10-minute drive at most from the deli. So I'm like, damn, he's not at the deli. Got myself a chopped cheese on the roll. Got a nice little bottle of water. This essential water here. Stream is sponsored by. It's not. And so I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'll cut my losses. He's probably gonna go to St. John's, but like I don't have that confirmation yet. So I get on the train. And I'm swiping the Instagrams and shit that I need to check, swiping the Twitters, and I'm like, all right, there's no updates. And then as I get like 3 stops or 2 or 3 stops from the city, I see the Instagram and it's like an update, like, oh, he is actually at St. John's. And I'm like, damn, should I head back? So I have to wait one long ass F train stop. And I finally get to that stop, airplane on and off. Hit the refresh, and I'm like, let me see how long it is to get from this specific train stop to St. John's. It's another 50 minutes by that point. I'm like, God damn. Even if I took an Uber, I should be like 30-40. So, and I already like had to cut some losses there because I already spent like 40 bucks on this Uber anyway. So I'm like, all right, let me cut my losses. He's there, and then I see the footage of him there, and I'm like, it's chaos. I'm not. By the time I get to him, I'm gonna be freezing. It's cold as shit. I gotta pee. I'm old. I've already tried to make the trek. I missed him. Oh, no, I asked the Ak at the store. I was like, yo, Ak, let me get a chopped cheese. Where the fuck is J. Cole at? He goes, yo, bro, you missed him by like 25, 30 minutes. I'm like, damn, bro. If I hadn't taken that Uber, if I had just taken the train to 179 and then try to Uber, because I was like, let me Uber. The thought process was, let me take the train to 179, Uber my way back through Hillside towards Briarwood, and then if he's not there, I'm good. It's whatever. But then I was like, no, it doesn't make sense because if he goes to St. John's, then I'd be heading in the opposite direction. Then it's gonna take me more time to go back to 179 and then go up to St. John's from there. So I'm like, all right, let me just hit from Briarwood. That shit was the worst decision I could have ever made, bro. The amount of time that I stood stuck in traffic, additionally, when I could have walked that shit and gotten there faster, or I could have taken the bus. I didn't realize that Hillside is a two-sided it's a 2-lane avenue. It's like 1 lane on each side, so traffic was terrible. And the Uber driver's telling me this. He's like, it's always gonna be bad on Hillside. I'm like, I didn't know that. I'm not from here really. So I'm like, all right, damn. Cut my losses, and then like as I'm just far enough to like not make the trek back towards St. John's, is when I see the oh shit he's there. I'm like, ah damn, bro, I was tight. But if I had and I like even while I was heading out there, I was like trying to come up with a strategy because I was going in blind. I was like, I should probably go to St. John's first because I know I don't want to be in Jamaica, Queens at night looking for this guy, right? Looking for a busted Honda Civic that could be anyone, right? So in my like when I was heading to the city, I was like, damn, I should probably hit St. John's first. That way, like in case it does get late and I still want to look for this dude or he ends up in the city, it's cool. I'd rather be in Manhattan at night. But I decided, it's a quicker thing. Like it's so easy for me to just get on from Port Authority, head down to Union Square real quick, check that very quickly, and then head over to make the long trek. But I was like, nah. So that was a dumb decision. Two very bad decisions that led to me missing this dude, which was head into Union Square first, and then not just taking the train to 179. That was like 3 more stops on the train. But I was like I fucked up because I felt the pressure because I was so late already because I'd gone to the wrong spot first. And then the second spot, I'm like, damn, dude, I don't know how long these last 3 train stops are going to be, and it's already delayed. So I was like, fuck it. If I could start on Hillside in Jamaica, Queens, then it's cool. Then I don't have to start on the west side of it. I can start on the east side and work my way down. And yeah, traffic fucked me up. So I did not get to meet J. Cole, unfortunately. The closest I've come to meeting J. Cole was me and Mike Shaw. So hopefully there's a tour for the fall off and there's like a meet and greet option. Maybe I'll just take the hit and pay for that, you know? Because I got to see this dude. Bro. I'm very upset about that. But which is why the stream is going to be short, but not why the stream is going to be delayed any longer, because we will get into it right now. We about to get into this. So there's no Modulo chapter. I don't know if that means it's over. I don't think it is. What is it called? Let me just double check on the Modulo. Cause so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna read One Piece, and I'm gonna cut out after that. Maybe we talk some shit if it's a really good chapter. But instead of doing Modulo at the same time, Modulo. Instead of doing Modelo at the same time, what we're gonna do is okay, the next chapter is in 2 days. Okay. Since JJK's episode is on break, or the anime is on break next week, what we'll do is the fuck? I'm trying to move my shit over here. What we can do is, what the fuck was I gonna say? We'll do the Modulo stream, the catch-up stream next week while the episode's on break, and then boom, we'll just hop right into everything else. What the fuck? How did I move myself? Okay, I think we're good. What the fuck? Oh, that's why. Okay, we're good. Let me just... I was gonna like widen myself just outside of the boundary just barely. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into One Piece now, and then we'll hit the JJK catch-up stream like Tuesday or some shit like that. I'll probably even do it Monday, honestly. We'll do like a Monday night stream. All right. One Piece chapter 1174, titled, sorry, let me do the intro. Hi, I'm Weekly Shonen. Welcome back to One Piece reading and shit like that. Just gonna jump right into it. One Piece chapter 1174, the strongest in the world. We got Goldie Roger. Is that Goldie Roger? Or is that Vista? Cover request by Tokomon. Roger takes a stroll and tames a Tyrannosaurus like a puppy. And the Tyrannosaurus is wearing Roger's hat. That's adorable. These are cool pants from Roger too. I wonder what this is. Looks like the Very Hungry Caterpillar. And he's in a tank top. Never seen this Roger before. I don't think I've ever seen Roger on a cover page. So that's new. That's brand new to me. Hold on, let me move this over because it was a bitch of an itch to edit myself, to put myself in the middle, in the in the in the last short that I put out. Okay, so we got an author note. Oda says the Knob Rock Festival, or the Nob Rock Festival, was a blast. The Draw Me girls were super shiny and sparkly, but the lights were just too much for this old man. Aw. I feel you, Oda. I'm the same way, bro. I was like, damn, bro. If I was like 5 years younger, I would have trekked it to St. John's. I would have fucking stood out there, had my back hurting, been almost fighting with some kindergartners out there to try to get this album and shit. But I was like, bro, honestly, I only pulled up to the deli because it seemed pretty calm. Seemed like I could meet this dude and it'd be a really intimate, like, session. I know it sounds weird, but it'd be a more intimate, what's it called? Setting. It'd be a more intimate setting to, like, actually meet this dude. I was not trying to be in the middle of a crowd of 1,000 people all with their phones up, bumping and shit, trying to, like, get to no, I'm not, that's not how I'm trying to meet J. Cole. I'm just trying to see the dude, I think, honestly, when I didn't make it to the deli in time, I was, like, hoping that, damn, I hope he's, like, parked next door. So I could just say what up, dap dude up, and be like, all right, we out. All right, this is bad. That Dream Demon. And it's not just the ship, the Dream Demon. Why is a blunder in the endgame? Why is Sommers panicking over the power of one of his dudes? Why is he afraid of Nika? All those sea clouds got blown away with it. What a mess, and I can't stop the arrow's effects. Oh, the brats will fall and splat themselves against the mountain face. Oh, that is a big fuck up. Damn, you did fuck this up. Gunko, you gotta stop the kids. We need to call off the plan for a bit. It's no use. Lord Emu's in there right now. Not her. We have to free them from this arrow. Holy shit, this got crazy. This kind of like got to like a situation where it's like the fire in Onigashima. Okay, we got the giants here trying to gnaw off the arrow here. What's this made of? I'm not leaving a scratch. I wonder if Conqueror's Haki can got this. Daddy, mommy, save me. That's useless, you fools. If that were possible, I'd be doing it myself. Oh, and Sommers is on a thorn dragon that looks a lot like the one from the Harley. We got Sommers' monologue here. Those parents are trying to protect their children, but the thorns won't let them touch the brats. But the way things are going, they'll soon be forced to watch the kids careen to their deaths. Oh my, what a juicy way to die. I just like, I don't even hate Sommers. Like, he's just so detestable that it's like, it's whatever to me. Like, it's just unrealistic. I know he's supposed to be over the top, just like most celestial dragons, so that you can feel something. But I don't feel something if it's just too, like, over the top. Like, I get it, he's a bit of a sadist, but, like, it's not really portrayed well enough for me to be like, oh, he's a sick son of a bitch. I hate this guy. It's more so like, all right, this is just ridiculous. All right, we get it, bro. Hey, wait, this kind of works out. Since Gunko is being controlled, the Great One's technically responsible for this. We can always snatch more brats afterwards. Oh, there you go. That's the character I'm looking for. He's pussy. So he's like, all right, we're not going to get blamed for it. I can hear it now. Yeah, but who the fuck is going to be like, actually, Great One, it's your fault? Like, that guy is going to get tossed out of the office window. It's like that meme where it's like the, why don't we just do this? Why don't we do that? And then it's like the one person that's really logical. It's like, why don't we just build a better game? And then he gets thrown out. I can hear it now. The sweet sobbing screams of their dear parents as they plummet. This is going to be so touching. Attention, brats and PTA members. He goes back on the loudspeaker. This guy loves this microphone. Brats and PTA members. Why is the Draugr up here? Didn't this just get handled? Why is there a chopper one? Whatever. Brats and PTA members alike. Our initial plan to ship the Tykes off safely to the Holy Land has run into an unforeseen snafu. The ship and the cloud layer have been wiped away. So to be blunt, your kids are about to fall to your deaths. He's announcing it, but like if he was announcing it to like as a way to try to get Emu back in here, to be like, yo, Emu, by the way, this plan that you have, you're about to fuck up because you're not gonna give Gunko control to like let go of the arrow. Or like, you know, disable the arrow. But no, it seems like he's just doing this because he's like, I want them to suffer more. It's almost comical, I know. You've come so far to find a morbid finish line ahead. We're just going to march off the edge like this? We'll fall if we keep going. Yeah, you kids are fucked. Hey, Chopper. Where's your brother at? I haven't seen your brother. Chopper's back. Unfortunately, there really is no way to stop this. What is that bastard Summers doing? He finally got all of the brats to the harbor. Oh, okay. It's this guy. Oh, I love his sword. It looks like the one hitter from Breath of the Wild. If giving up my arms is the only surefire, Jesus Christ, I thought that was a French word, surefire way to stop them, then so be it. Grandpa Oimo. Oh, he's like taking it. Unfortunately, there really no way to stop this. What is that bastard Summers doing? Finally got all the brats to the harbor. Damn it. Yeah, okay, that really does a lot of damage. It's hurting you. Let go, Grandpa Oimo. Please forgive me. 1 second. Actually, just in case there's a chat going on. I love when I press the pause button on frame 1. And this shit's still like, nah, you didn't get it in time. Oimo. How's it going? Hi Cal? Hi Cal official? I hope I'm saying that right. How you doing? Please forgive me. It seems we really can't do anything while the arrow is around. No, it's not the arrow. There's no way to stop the kids, so we can't save them? No way. You expect me to watch my own child plummet to death? Those demons are screwing with us. And Summers is crying with laughter at this point. Yeah, I just don't care for it. Like, not because it's just like fucked up, but because, how you doing, Chance? Welcome back. Yeah, it's just he's crying of laughter. It's just so over the top, you know. It doesn't feel threatening. It's just kind of like a burden and an annoyance because we know he's weak. Like, if he was actually threatening, then not to just the kids or the situation, but if he was actually a threatening fighter, and it's like, well, even if we do get to him, if all it's going to take right now is one Straw Hat getting to Summers to beat him. Anyone but Robin. Or the Weakling Trio. Like, Jinbei, any of the big four, maybe even Frankie, getting to Summers is like, all right, they'll probably deal with them. Even though none of the other two have, even though, yeah, only two of these people have Conqueror's Haki. I still have faith that, you know, that's how it'll be. Elbaf is coming soon. Holy shit, that is two months away from finally getting Elbaf in the anime, which means I can change all of my thumbnails. God damn, 6 people in here. What the hell? Hi, like the stream. Oh, people have been liking the stream. Thank you so much. Welcome everyone. So yeah, no, like if Summers was a threatening, if he wasn't just like a, well, actually, hold on, Chopper, say hi to the people in the stream. I don't know where your brother's at. I think he went back to sleep. Your brother deadass woke up and just went back to sleep. Hi, say hi to Tony Chopper, chat. This is my ferret. This is one of my ferrets. Say, do your little dance. Ooh, 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 ooh. He just looked at me like, you fucking serious, bro? I'm sorry. Sorry, bro. Yeah, no, Summers isn't threatening. I don't give a shit about him. Like, he just has a power, and he's a, what's it called, a regen merchant. So it's like, he's not really a strong person. If we got to him and it was like, well, how the fuck are we gonna beat him? Because he's actually very strong. Then it'd be something. But whatever. I must have done something bad, the one kid says in the back. This is divine punishment, isn't it? Huh? Oh, because they're the God's Knights. You believe this is divine punishment when there's literally just like a sick person fucking with you? Whatever. All right, whatever. I was always told that too when I got in trouble. Huh? Me too. If only I was a good boy. You guys really think we're gonna die because we're bad? What? No way. I'll be a good kid from now on, I promise. Save me, help. I'm sorry. And Summers is busting several nuts right now looking at them. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he just needs that more darker edge of like, I need him to be like, I am erect off of the idea of people being sad. Like, I need him to be more upfront about it. Like, just laughing about it is kind of just like, you pussy. That's it. That's all I think about him. I won't do anything bad anymore, ever. The sun god pays special attention to naughty kids, you know? Holy fuck, it's Emmett. This is Attack on Titan. I don't know why I cannot go a single chapter without referencing Attack on Titan. But this is exactly like Attack on Titan. It's like, oh shit, look, foreshadowing. We got... What's it called when it's not a foreshadow, it's just a callback? Backshadowing. That's it. But like I said, I won this in a duel. The strong should look out for the weak. Now go and apologize. Okay. So yeah, we got a nice little flashback of Colin and his mom. She's like scolding him for taking advantage of another kid to take their doll. Why haven't you cleaned your plate? Do you hate my cooking that much? No, I just hate carrots. How many times have I told you not to take your father's sword? Oh, all the kids are having flashbacks. I hate you, Grandpa. You and your savage pirate crew stink. Why are you lying again? I can't protect you if you lie to me, you know? Why did you bring my homework with you? I forgot it on purpose. I didn't do it. You know, it'd be a lot cooler, for me at least. So I have to take a swig of apple juice. If, you know, they were really playing with the idea of divine punishment here, and every single one of these flashbacks was kind of like, if you don't do this, then the sun god will kill you, or like the sun god will, like, you know, look upon you bad. And it was like, you know, creating the idea that these kids are all specifically afraid of some type of punishment that may or may not be divine. You know, you could have one of them be like, all right, if you don't do this, your grandma's going to hate you or some shit like that. Because I know one of them is like afraid of their mom or some shit like that. I should have related it to each of their fears. Wow, I don't want to... Yeah, let me wait, though. Let me wait to give that critique until the end of the chapter, at least. Hopefully I'm coming up decent over here. Oh, no, my lesson. All right. Oh, no, my city. One second. Super important. Sorry, I just started my third city in Pixelplex, and let me tell you. It has been it's been a weird journey. I'm at the point, so I play this game called Pixelplex. Fire. I mean, it's not really that fire, but it's fun for me. I like it a lot. And it's basically like a city builder, you know, like a base builder, city planning thing. It's and you just try to, like, you know, get points. You get points for what is it called? So you like build buildings and shit. You build establishments. You build nice little recreational spaces too. But mainly what you're trying to do is have enough income to buy another block. And then also have city points. And you get these city points by having people in your city. And then you double those points by having those people in your city work at establishments. So, you know, if you have 10 people in your city and they all have a job, then you have 20 points. But you have 40 points if you trade workers with someone who's adjacent to your block. So if you have a block here and someone has a block right next to you, they have 10 workers, you have 10 workers, you make them work for their open jobs and their people work for your open jobs, then, you know, you get like 40 points instead of 20. So it's been fun. I've been playing that for like a year or something like that. A little over a year at this point, I think. And you can like pay $5 and then just have 3 cities instead of 1. So I've started on the third one. Sorry, Chopper's back. Started on the third one. And at this point, I'm like gonna use my girlfriend's iPad to like have a second account. So I can just have a city with 2 people in it and then it'll be me. So I only because I'm pretty sure that my strat can get me to number one on the leaderboard. I just don't have anyone to trade workers with, and even the city that I'm in with like a lot of top level players or whatever, they've either gone inactive or like they already have partners, so I can't trade with them. And the one partner I had fucking left. Like I had a partner for like the first two blocks, and then he fucking left the game. So I was like, all right, damn, I have to do this myself. So in a few months, there will be an update to this situation where I'm like, I made it to like number 5 or some shit like that in Pixelplex. Fun game. Definitely suggest y'all check it out. Anyway, these kids are crying out for their moms. Oh, and then Colin's here taking the stabs. Come here. I'm sorry, I can't stop you from moving, but I can do this much at least. Oh my god. Damn, what a warrior. She's taking all those thorns. Why would you decide to die in front of your kid? But if you don't let go, you'll die too, Mom. I'm okay with that. It's better than letting you die alone. Ooh. Ooh. What a bar. It's quite the bar. No, what's happening? Okay, the double page was like a little too long. Where we at? Okay. Okay, so Gerd, I believe her name is about to fall down. We got the first domino falling. I can't believe that's actually happening this chapter. I thought this was going to be like another cliffhanger, or we're going to go to somewhere else and then it's like going to be like, all right, the kids are still in trouble, whatever, because they've been in trouble for a year at this point. It's okay. We'll be fine. I just know we'll be saved. And then Gerd falls. We'll be saved, right? Ranja, you did great back there. Papa, Bent, Mommy. What scares me the most? My mom. Aw, and so his mom comes and saves. I'm sorry I said you were scary. I don't mind being scary. Your fierce mommy loves to protect you. Lives to protect you. Sorry. Damn. This is a little sad. I'm not gonna lie. It must be nice having parents like these. Oh, this one. Oh, this one's an ancient giant? Why'd she have horns? Don't worry, I'm here for you. You're not my mom. Damn, you suck. Joanna. Miss Angie. Damn, Joanna, you suck. Stay away from my school. It's embarrassing enough having a total nerd like you for a brother. Oh, and then, okay. Rotos, bro. I can be more discreet so they don't notice me. Divine punishment, huh? Bjorn Tasso. Or Bjorn Tasso. Jesus, what a name. What names do we have in Elbaf right here? Clara, I'm fine. It doesn't hurt. Fucking absolute lie. Gee ha ha ha. Look at them. Those worthless scraps are tumbling into the abyss. My heart is quivering. What a touching story. If you just let them fall, you'd only be down 10 brats. Those parents are stupid. Their love made them choose to die with their kids. I have butterflies in my stomach. What a beautiful, meaningless death. What beautiful, meaningless deaths. He's crying, and I feel like this is actually Cope. I feel like his sadism here is just like, I was hurt as a kid, and so I don't want anyone to ever realize that, so I'm just going to laugh until I cry. Colin, where are we? I don't know, Mom, but we're all safe. Yeah, they all fell onto... What the fuck did they fall onto? Is it Luffy? Is it Big Fat Luffy? Mom, I call that one Gum Gum Rice Cracker Belly. Anyways, you're kind of digging into me, so get off. Hey, you. As soon as we land, I want you to hop off my back, you hear? Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I was going to say maybe Luffy saves them. But I have no reason to, like, understand why he would, you know, do that. Why he would serve as a trampoline. Unless, you know, now it makes sense. We've got Loki here. And Loki's transformed, but he's still in fucking silhouette. Hey, you. as soon as we land, hey, I want you to hop on my back. I don't want you meddling in my fight. Did he say back? You guys just came falling down on us out of nowhere. Good thing we were passing by. Okay, and then Luffy's in gear 5. I didn't sign off on this. I'm the Great Destroyer. I'm not responsible for anybody's safety. Now let's move. Is that his fruit talking? Is that Loki's fruit, like, kind of like making him a little edgier? Because he's clearly, you know, he's whatever at this point. Is it snowing? That's so sudden. Wait, was that thunder? What? The tree is shifting. Oh, shit. What is that beat? Dum da da da. Oh, shit. All of Elbaf is shaking. On a curious day when thunder and snow both flurry. 1 second. The strongest in the world. I gotta remember the name of the chapter. All of Elbaf shaking. On a curious day, whatever. A giant beast shall appear to blot out the skies. When thunder and snow both flurry, the drums of liberation will boom out. Oh, this is a quote from the Harley then that Jaro's hitting. And the sun god will rise. And then you got Luffy dying of laughter and Ragnar chilling on Loki's back, and Loki is revealed to be a motherfucking dragon. Look how big you got. Now this is going to be funny. Oh, and there's a break next week. The hour of Elbaf's liberation. The hour of Elbaf's liberation has come. And there's a break. Look at Loki here, bro. He's a full-on dragon. This is so fire. And as fire as it is, I'm going to need to see the Harley real quick. I got to take a quick look at this one more time. Oh God, it's a Facebook link. The first world. There was a fire upon the earth. Humanity succumbed to desire and touched the forbidden sun. Slaves were made a wish. God of the sun appeared, but the God of the earth became enraged. Alongside the serpent of hell enveloped the world in death and darkness. They could never meet again. So the whole "they could never meet again" thing, does that now mean the sun god and whatever Loki's fruit is? Like those two beings? The second world. There was breath upon the emptiness. The god of the forest sent forth demons. The sun merely spread the embers of war. The people of the half moon, I'm sorry, I was really, really punctual. The people of the half moon dreamed. The people of the moon dreamed. Half moon and moon. Yeah, hold on. I'm going to take a quick look at this in the Viz. I'm looking at a fucking Facebook post over here. It's not 58 because we're in the Rocks flashback at that point. 44? No, this already happened by then. I just really wish that Viz had... wow, I just happened to click on it. Third try. That Viz also had the titles of the chapters next to the chapter numbers. But I happened to click on the first try. Or not first try, third try. Alright, let's take a quick look at this. Void where there was breath, the forest god tamed the demons, and the sun spread the fires of war. Those are the half moon dreamed. Those are the moon dreamed. So the half moon and the moon have to be two different clans. It can't be like different moon beings. Get the fuck out of here, bot. Whatever. Right? Because why would they say half moon and moon? Either way, we're here for Loki's fruit, which I assume. So in the Harley, we have this thing that looks exactly like Loki's fruit in the very center of it, on the top of this tree in the center. This chair is the greatest chair ever because my girlfriend got it for me. But if I could make one teeny tiny complaint about it, it's the fact that half of it just comes off. Yeah, so I'm looking at this thing that looks exactly like Loki's fruit in the middle. And I'm just assuming that Loki now, like, there must have been a figure, right? or there must have been certain figures in the first world that were attempted to be reincarnated as fruits in the second world. This is my theory. Hold on. Let me preface this first. Based off of the ending of this chapter, where we have Loki in his devil fruit form, or in his when we have Loki in his Zoan form, and this Zoan form looks exactly like, or very similar to, the being in the very middle of the Harley. And it's not like this is a consistent thing, right? You have this being with horns in the middle, and then another being with horns on the left. The giant serpent on the right does not have this. So it's not like, all right, these are just like, what would you call this? It's not like, all right, these are just, different versions of Emu or different Gorosei. This feels like, all right, these are three separate beings. So you have God appeared. Yeah, the sun god appeared. The earth god raged. And the earth god, and with its serpent of hellfire, shrouded the world in death and darkness. So it seems like the earth god has a serpent under its control. And that serpent might just be the red line. But looking at Loki here, what I'm getting from this being in the middle being very similar in resemblance is that there were beings in the first world that existed. They might have been actual gods, but don't know for sure yet. They were reincarnated as devil fruits in the second world. And so the people in the third world that are able to save the world and bring, peace or whatever, bring the dawn, are those people who have the same type of vibe as the people in the first world, and also happen to eat the fruit that is the living, or the devil fruit. They happen to eat the devil fruit that is the reincarnation of those people, so that they become the fully fledged reincarnations of those people, right? Like the devil fruits themselves, maybe the wrong people ate them, and so, it didn't work out. So then that way you have someone like Luffy, who is already like the sun god Nika. He's able to get the Nika fruit and then awaken it because his personality fits with it. The same way that Loki here is a person who's seriously, or is a person who is, very important for the third world, for the dawn of the world. But it's also very important that he gets the devil fruit from the second world, so that he can be that living manifestation, or that perfect reincarnation of the actual god that existed in the first world. If that's where this is going, that all the, not just reincarnation, but everything has to align well, so that the right people are equipped with the right things to do what they need to do to bring about the dawn, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, looking at the Harley now, it just why the fuck is there a fish here? Giant fish. It's just, I'm trying to figure out. I'm not gonna really try to delve too deep on the Harley itself. Yeah, because look, in the middle, you even have the giant serpent in the first world doing battle with what seems to look like Loki's devil fruit in the second world. So is this supposed to be no, both of these things happened in the first world, or there was a specific conflict between the first and the second world, right? So I could put this on stream. I could actually put this on stream. Shit, wrong one. Sorry, you feel me? So you got this serpent here. Looks exactly like Loki. Just like Loki. Horns and shit, whatever. This thing, as I was saying, could be the manifestation. Could be like the devil fruit of a god that existed in this first world. And then it's crucial that Loki, who's already in a perfect embodiment, or a perfect kind of reincarnation or archetype of this being, eats this being's devil fruit, so that it can become that exact reincarnation. Exactly, whatever. Exactly has been said way too many times. But the fact that this being is doing battle with the serpent from the first world, is this supposed to be a metaphor of a generational fire, like a generational ongoing battle for the moon, because of the moon? Or is this supposed to just mean this being actually existed in the first world anyway? Or that maybe the Great Serpent was summoned and it did not become the Red Line until the second world. You know, and this thing is the thing that's transcending worlds. That could make a little more sense. Yeah, I'll put it over there. There you go. Yeah, I'm talking about this. I'm talking about George Smith. George W. Smith. Yeah. Because if this is supposed to be Emu, right? With the wings and all. Unless... No, because this doesn't have the horns. I was going to say, like, unless this guy is actually supposed to be this guy still. But that doesn't make any sense. And it seems like Loki's fruit is just black. Black dragon. That's how we roll in here. Whatever this thing is. Because these don't really look too much like wings. Like, if it does, this motherfucker built like a Zapdos. But it seems like this is it. It seems like this is exactly what Loki is. And then what else do we have here, bro? Is this supposed to be a Lunarian? Or, like, is this supposed to be, what's his name? Arbor? I don't know, man. Kind of buck wild. Kind of buck wild, not gonna lie to you. Alright. Sorry, I'm back at it. Where's your brother at, bro? I have not seen your brother. Did he go back to sleep? Alright, I'll put on Chopper for the stream one more time and then I'm out of here. Like I said, a quick stream. I'm a little down in the dumpity. All because of I could not see my favorite rapper. Or not that I couldn't see him, but because I fucked up royally and missed the chance to see him. I missed the chance to meet J. Cole, Chopper. What will I ever do? How will I ever recover from this, huh? What could I possibly do to recover from this, Chopper? He's like, don't look at me, bro. I have nothing to do with this. Okay, you right. You got nothing to do with this. Yeah. Excellent chapter, though. This is great. We finally got the Loki fruit reveal. Well, I mean, we don't have the intro box for it. And maybe it's not, you know, all black when it gets to the top. But 10 out of 10 chapter just because Ragnar is here chilling on top of him. It looks like he's been photoshopped. Or it's been... I have no idea where Ragnar is. It looks like Ragnar's been photoshopped to the top of Loki's back here. Or to the back of Loki's back? To Loki's back, whatever. I also just don't know, like, was it a quick acting gum fruit? I don't know. It's just, it's not contrived. It's just kind of like, all right, cool. I guess it makes sense that these people fell just onto Luffy's lap. Oh, and also since the I just realized that since the kids have reached their destination, they're no longer under the control of the arrow. So that's fun. I wonder what made it snow, though. Like, is this just the shit that's released from Loki's Devil Fruit? Is it the thunder and the snow? Like, that's... No, because it would have happened before, too. Unless this is supposed to be like, if these two beings are together, then it will automatically thunder and snow. It'll thunder from Gear 5's hockey output, and then it'll snow because of Loki's... I don't know. By the way, pretty fire chapter. I'm fucking with it. We have a oh, Loki's made it to the top, and it seems like he's like doing damage to these things by just rolling by them. That's pretty cool. The Hour of Elbaf's Liberation. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm fucking it, man. I'm fucking with it. I just wish Discuss worked on TCB. I really would love to see like people's initial reactions to the chapter on scan day, you know? Either way. Yeah, I'm getting out of here. I can't find Bippy, so I'm going to go find Bippy. I'm a little worried about him because I took him out the cage and I have not seen him, so I'm hoping that he just went back to sleep. He's not just getting himself into trouble. By the way, yeah, I'll see you guys on Monday for a Jujutsu Kaisen stream. We'll talk about it. I would have talked about the episode right now, but My girlfriend's pretty busy and we're watching it together, so I probably won't watch it until tonight or maybe tomorrow when, whatever. So, yeah, no JJK speaking as of right now. Actually, I will leave you guys with this. I have refined. Yes, I guess it's a weekly thing at this point. I have to talk about JJK and Gojo versus Sukuna. I have refined the argument for Gojo versus Sukuna to a point that people just quit once I present the argument to them. No bullshit. You can go check the comments. People just stop responding. They just leave. They stop responding when they get to this point. Here's the thing. I'm gonna put the visual real quick. I'm gonna show y'all something real quick that I've shown every time I show this to a Gojo stan. And let me be clear, a Gojo stan, not a fan. Whenever you show this panel to a Gojo stan and say the magic words, they look like Sukuna in 230. They look like this in 230. If you show a Gojo stan a specific panel, say the right words, they look exactly like this right after. Blood coming out of their eyes. Absolutely fucking stunned. And here's all you have to show them. The void totaled less than 10 seconds on Sukuna. Boom. And then he gets his shit rocked. You show them this panel from 229 and their heads explode. Curse technique repair lags depend. This is the entire argument. This is the entire Sukuna wins no matter what argument. Curse technique repair lags depending on the degree of physical healing. The difference was less than 0.01 seconds. If Sukuna, this is what this means. Just come here real quick. This means. Oh, hi, Bippy, you made it. Come here. I say hi to stream, Bippy. Your brother did. Look at how you just like. Hi, Bippy. Say hi to stream. I'll give you a little. Ooh, yeah. Sorry, Bippy don't be with the shits really. Chopper is kind of like really chill. Bippy's like, I have shit to do. I love you and whatnot, but you get like 10 seconds before I start to he puts the paw up on your face or whatever. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So if you show a Gojo stan chapter 229, page 11, and you just ask them the simple question. If Heian form Sukuna has higher durability, higher output, how is there a 0.01 second difference between his healing? If he's proven to be more durable, which means he will take less physical damage and require less physical healing to reactivate his domain over and over and over again, on top of the fact that he will have more output, so there will not be any more ties in the domain clashes because he's going to be able to break it faster than 3 minutes, which means he's not going to ever get to the point where his domain breaks down so that he has to heal enough to activate it again, then how does the 0.01 second difference happen? It doesn't. Gojo has to hit Sukuna with Void in 229, or Sukuna has to turn off his sure hit technique or his sure hit part of his tech, the sure hit part of his domain, or turn off domain application. Sorry, Sukuna has to do two things to get hit by Void. He has to turn off his sure hit and turn off his domain amplification so that he can adapt Mahoraga. If he's in Heian form, none of those things happen. And he's more durable and has more hands to do more output. And clearly, as of 262, Yuta tells you, because Sukuna is exhausted, he can only hold I should be able to keep up the domain like Gojo for 3 minutes, which means a Heian form Sukuna is getting rid of even Gojo's domain in less than 3 minutes, which he's gonna have way more time in his domain, or he's gonna have to take way more damage for Gojo to break his domain. So no matter what, if you put it on output, if you put it on durability, if you choose one of those two things, there's no more ties in domain clashes, which means this 0.01 second difference in healing or in domain activation in round 4 due to the lagging of due to the lag in activation. Sorry, this lag in activation in 229 because of the physical healing Sukuna needs does not happen if he's in Heian form, because he's clearly more durable. This is proven in 237 or 238, and then it's proven again in 262 with the fact that he can hold his shit longer than 3 minutes. So how does Gojo land UV? That's all you have to ask. How does Gojo land Unlimited Void on Sukuna if the only way he was able to do it was against the Meguna, who lagged in physical healing? That's it. The argument's over. Usually when I state this to people and I go, yo, I understand you're a fan and you're clearly being an asshole about it, but just answer me this question. How does Gojo hit UV in 229? How does Gojo hit Unlimited Void at all against the Heian form Sukuna? If they're going to be tied, if he's going to be like, just lay it out. Just go, how does he land it? Their answer is not going to have anything to do with the question. 10 out of 10 times I've tested this out. Ever since I've realized how to like perfectly frame this argument, or how to perfectly state this argument to like leave no room for bullshit or like sidetracking, 10 out of 10 times they're just going to go to something else. They're just going to go, well, it was a 3v1. It was Gege hated Gojo even though he glazed them the entirety of the series. Gege hated Gojo. He loved Sukuna. He was a bias, or Gojo had to die. So, that's the only reason why he died. Otherwise, he's stronger. You can point to anything. I pointed to just the narrative reasons in my video as to why Gojo had to die, without having to say, well, yeah, if he wins, then Sukuna dies, and there's no more story after that, right? Like, there's no more conflict, and half, the last 30 chapters or so don't happen. But if you just go by narrative, like, Gojo admitted he was weaker, and Sukuna needed to have more in the tank to fight these other people. When you see the things that Sukuna had left in the tank to fight everyone else in Heian form, he was clearly weaker fighting Gojo in Megumi form. Like, if in Megumi's body, it makes no sense why he would be. I've had people say that Megumi's body, like, not 10 Shadows was better than anything Heian form had. No. Not like he had better access to better techniques in Megumi's body, or the stronger technique in Megumi's body. No, that Megumi's body was physically more durable and stronger than Sukuna's body based off of like output. Even though it's clear that is not the case. So, just ask them that question. Because usually the cope that I see is like, the number one cope that I see when it comes to Gojo stands is the lie that Sukuna needed Mahoraga to develop world cutting slash so he could cut Gojo. He could not bypass Infinity without Mahoraga, or Makura, which I've liked to call him, or I like to call them ever since the episode came out. The Sukuna versus Mahoraga episode came out. I like Makura a little bit. But yeah, the number one cope is like the Gojo stands love saying that without Mahoraga, there's no way for Sukuna to bypass Infinity, when the first domain class tells you the opposite, right? And usually they go from had no way to bypass Infinity to, well, that wasn't strong enough to cut Gojo. It goes from no way to bypass Infinity to no way to actually kill Gojo, even if they did bypass Infinity. Like, the goalpost gets moved very, very slightly. Because, yeah, you could just say, well, Sukuna had no way to, like, one-shot. You could say he had no way to one-shot Gojo. That is a perfectly valid argument, which is still defeated. But that's not disingenuous. If you say that there was no way for Sukuna to pass Infinity when we have the first 3 domain clashes, and then, or the first 2 domain clashes, sorry. And chapter 230, Sukuna was going to end the fight in chapter 230 without ever developing world cutting slash. I don't think people realize that. 230, let me show you real quick. This is 229, Sukuna getting hit with Void, right? Shrine collapses, he gets hit, his brain gets fried here. And then Mahoraga summoned to break out of Infinity and set him free because he's about to get his ass handed to him. But here we have Mahoraga. Gojo activates. Sukuna tells him, "Hey, it's like, your brain is fucked up. I didn't heal my reverse my curse technique as much as you did, so I have more domains in the tank." Not realizing that he doesn't because he got his brain fried by UV, which again does not happen against Heian form Sukuna. Let me just show you. What does Sukuna say here? Next time, I'll close the domain with a barrier. You'll have nowhere to run, right? Because the other cope is that, well, even if Sukuna opens a domain, Gojo can just run away. That is debunked by the first domain clash of, I think Hakari asks, why can't Gojo just teleport away? And Kusakabe tells him, well, his technique was just broken, so he can't pop away. So yeah, technically, if Gojo has his healed technique, then yeah, no matter if Sukuna opens an open barrier domain, he can escape. But the point is, if Sukuna opens a closed barrier domain against the Gojo who still has to reverse still has to heal his curse technique, then he's fucked. If he opens up an open barrier domain, he has to literally run away. Actually, no, hold on. Why am I even giving the benefit of the doubt with specific scenarios? We've seen this. We saw this in 226. Where is it at? We literally saw this in 226. He breaks out. It's like, yeah, if Malevolent Shroud's effective rate is about the size of Shibuya, Gogo should just be fast enough to get away. His domain was just destroyed, so he can't use curse technique for a while. Gojo's in trouble. He has to literally run away. He cannot just teleport away or pop out of existence like he usually does, because his domain was just broken. So the cope is like, well, Gojo could just run away. Yeah, we saw how well that went for him the first time, and he was fighting for his life while doing it. And he ended up getting, out of the scenario, but it wasn't like, oh, he can just do that. He had to try his heart out to do that. Anyway, go back to this. Next time, well, yeah. There are limits compared to flesh and bone. Even if you open a domain, you'll either die or you won't have enough precision to combat me. And Gojo is sweating here. Gojo's like, I am fucked, potentially. And then Sukuna says, next time I'll close the domain with a barrier. You'll have nowhere to run. Then I'll dice you up and adapt to infinity as well. This is my chance to adapt to infinity so I can open a closed barrier domain and then kill you. Which would then, if he said it like that, then that would mean, yeah, I guess his domain was never enough to kill Gojo. No, he says, I'm going to kill you and then adapt to infinity as well. Because, as is revealed, the second that Mahoraga gets hit with a technique, he starts adapting. Additional hits speed up the process of adaptation, which Sukuna could have just turned. Sukuna could have taken 1 second. Sukuna could have taken 1 second of Unlimited Void by turning off his amplification and then starting the process and then turning his short hit back on and never having to take another hit of it again. And then he probably doesn't lag in Clash 4 because of that. No, he wanted to speed up the process. So he's like, I'm going to kill you, and then I will eventually he's going to adapt to infinity. The process has already started. And then I'll adapt to infinity as well. People forget that. People swear to God, because they're so focused on the cope of, well, he only died because of a sneak attack. Oh my God, it's another thing. All right, I'm almost done here. People are so focused on the fact that World Cutting Slash was done off screen as a sneak attack that they just assume, or they put it into their head that was the only way that Sukuna could cut him. Completely ignoring the first two clashes, completely ignoring this exact panel, and the fact that Sukuna does not want to continue to go all out, right? Sukuna's whole thing is, I need shit in the bag. Sorry. Sukuna does not want to go all out against Gojo, right? It's the whole reason why he's using Megumi's body. He's like, I have to have shit left in the tank for when I fight everyone else. He's trying to end the fight as quickly as possible, which is why he takes the extra hits by Unlimited Void, turned off his domain amplification, turns off his short hit, so he can adapt it as quickly as possible. And the entire rest of this fight is him stalling and baiting Gojo into hitting him with more and more techniques, so he can have Mahoraga adapt to every one of Gojo's techniques, because he understands through Yuji, through Megumi's memories, and through Yuji being inside Yuji, that there will be more Six-Eyed and Infinity users, right? There will be other Gojos that he has to fight in the future, and he does not want to have to fucking risk it. He wants to get him out of the way and continue living doing whatever the fuck he wants to do, right? Because he's depressed or whatever, some shit like that. So he's trying. He's not going all out, right? He's not going into his Heian form, but he's trying to end the fight as quickly as possible. He doesn't want to burn the entirety of his body or his form here on Gojo, which is why he tries to end it with the first domain clash. He tries to not let Gojo escape, and then he tries to end it here. Because if he doesn't end it here, what happens? This happens. Fucking, he gets punched in the face. He loses Agito. He loses Mahoraga. And then he has to transform into Heian form. He doesn't want to do any of that. He wants to save all of this. People don't understand. If Meguna could go the entirety of the the Kashimo fight by just, using Mahoraga to get rid of Kashimo, and then halfway through everyone's efforts throughout jumping him, he's forced to go into Heian form, then he's up. He's winning the fight. They barely beat him after 7 Black Flashes, after Yuta's domain expansion, after Yuta going into a different person's domain expansion. After all of this, they barely beat Heian form Sukuna, who was already exhausted and burned out by that point. By the time he transforms, his brain is cooked. He has to use a binding vow just to use his domain again by using a different part of his brain for curse technique, which you could argue he probably could have done that against Gojo, but maybe, he wasn't as desperate or some shit like that. Maybe if World Cutting Slash doesn't work, maybe he just opens his domain again by doing that, which is another thing that Gojo stands do not consider. Like, if he dodges there, Gojo automatically wins. That is not at all what the fuck. Oh my god, can I just run through the cope real quick through the list of bullshit statements that I've heard? Because it's consistent. Like, it's really consistent. And when did this chapter air? This fight was almost 3 years ago. 2.5 years ago this fight was. I'm speaking like Yoda. And people still have really huge misconceptions about it, which is fucking weird to me, bro. Although I should not be surprised, because people have misconceptions on how fucking Bleach's power system works. And that shit is old as hell. So maybe I'm not as befuddled by it. But yeah, this fight was damn near 3 years ago, and people are still like, people say, if Gojo, people crazy, bro. People are crazy. People say that Gege Akutami said Gojo would have won if he didn't get caught off guard. First of all, if you get caught off guard, that's nobody else's fault but yours. Let me show you the type of people. I'm going to show you what the Gojo stan would defend right now. Damn, can I not activate this? Can I not play YouTube while I'm recording? There's no shot. They'll go, yeah, if he didn't let his guard down, he would have won. This is what it looks like to let your guard down. I don't think they understand, bro. 1 second. I'm gonna have to cut off this transition. At least for a couple of the slides. Y'all don't understand, bro. Gojo letting his guard down is within his character. It's not like he acted out of character for a split second and paid the price for it, or it was bullshit, right? Gojo is locked into this fight in, was it 225 or 223 or some shit like that? I think it's like 222. Like, when he's coming down the stairs and Maki's like, he better be taking this shit seriously or I'm gonna fuck him up. And he comes down with the same exact stare as Toji had when Naoya saw him. He's locked in. but it's within his character to be like, you know, a little bit whimsical, whatever, like that. So when a Gojo stand tells you, oh, he only lost because he let his guard down, he would have totally won. They're telling you he would have lost. They're telling you he only lost because he was Gojo. He would have won if he had a completely different personality, which is like, I guess, bro, like, and Sukuna would have lost earlier if he was like Gojo, if he was like happy-go-lucky or some shit like that, right? It's just part of his character. Like, he was going to let his guard down. There are many moments where someone gets caught off guard in this fight. The 2 times that Sukuna gets caught off guard, or the 2 times that Sukuna really gets fucked up, is because he got caught off guard. It's because Gojo throws red or blue around the building, and Sukuna does not realize it, right? He gets hit in the back, and then gets comboed with the Black Flash, and then he gets knocked out for a quick second, and summons Mahoraga, and then he's like healing and shit like that in the darkness. And then the second time is the second Hollow Purple. Actually, third time. The third time is the second Hollow Purple, because Sukuna goes, oh, he's going to charge up red or whatever like that. And Gojo charges up red. Sukuna does not realize that blue is still floating around. So Gojo sends red to blue. That's how he gets the second Hollow Purple off. Sukuna gets caught off guard by that. And he tries to act, it doesn't work out. Sukuna also gets caught off guard in the very first moment of this fucking fight. You don't understand that Gojo, his whole first move is to charge up Hollow Purple from like a mile away or some shit like that. And then at the very last second, increase the output from 120% to 200% and send it right at Sukuna, right? The whole thing with like Ichiji or whatever is that he's able to hide the amount of output that is visible or whatever to Sukuna. So Sukuna's just kind of like looking at the distance like, what the fuck is happening over there? And then within a split second, it turns into Hollow Purple and gets sent right to him. And then he has to react by like, you know, getting his hands blown off or some shit like that. So that's him getting caught off guard. People complain about Gojo getting caught off guard as if like that was not a moment, as if that was the only moment that happened in this fight. That was the only time someone got caught off guard in this fight. Sukuna got caught off guard. He got knocked out for it. He had Mahoraga to bail him out. Gojo got caught off guard a couple of times, I think, in this fight. But he got bailed out too. He got caught off guard by Sukuna's barrier. He got caught off guard by Sukuna summoning Mahoraga and cutting him in the face the first time. And then he got caught off guard by Mahoraga's second adaptation, cutting off his arm. And he also got what the fuck was it called? No, I think those are the only times that he gets caught off guard is whenever Mahoraga's around, which is crazy. Which is crazy to think about the fact that he knows Mahoraga's around. Oh, and then he gets caught off guard. The other time is when the first time the wheel starts to spin, and Gojo's nose starts to bleed. He's like, why isn't he using his and then his nose bleeds or whatever. So it's just really weird to me that is one of the copes of like if Gojo had a completely different personality, he would have won. Yeah, but like then that's not Gojo at that point. Also, Gege said that Gojo might have dodged. Not that is the one thing. These people quote Akutami and say, well, he clearly said Gojo was stronger himself. I've seen that quote bastardized to the point that people have just straight out said Akutami confirmed himself that Sukuna would have lost without 10 Shadows. That is the extent to bastardization that I've seen that quote be drawn to. When the real quote is, I think if Gojo hadn't thought that getting rid of Mahoraga meant he won the fight, then he wouldn't have let his guard down. If he wouldn't have let his guard down, I think he might have dodged. That is all Akutami said. If Gojo did not let his guard down, he might have dodged the fatal blow. He didn't say anything after that. There was no like he would have dodged it and then he would have beat Sukuna's ass. No, because he knows that Sukuna had hand form after that. Like that quote is just crazy. The way that's the first thing that people say. The second thing is that that without Mahoraga or that Sukuna could not have developed World Cutting Slash without Mahoraga, which is true. But there's something that people like when you start to like get into the conversation with them, they say shit that like kind of like is not true, but I can't really give them too much gripe for because I didn't notice that myself. Which is in 236 when Sukuna explains Mahoraga's adaptation to Gojo's corpse. he says something that I only realized like a week ago, maybe. So yeah, the people usually say Sukuna says himself that he needed Mahoraga to beat Sukuna to beat Gojo. That's not what he says. He says the first time that Mahoraga adapted to Infinity, it transmuted its own cursed energy in order to neutralize and nullify that. That was something I could not do. He's referring not to the fact that he needed Mahoraga to beat Gojo. He's saying the first adaptation that Mahoraga had to bypass Infinity was not something that I could replicate. Right? It's the first time that he cuts Gojo in the face. Sukuna sees that and goes, "Oh, I can't transmute my shit to nullify it the way that Mahoraga does it." And then he says, "That was something I could not do, so I waited. I waited until I could obtain an adaptation that would match your inviolability. The second adaptation proceeded as I had hoped," which means he was like, "There's a way to do this that I can replicate. I just don't know what it is yet. I have to wait for Mahoraga to adapt." And that's probably why he's like taking hits or whatever. He's like, "I need to speed up the adaptation process," but I'm not going to headcanon that. And then he explains what that second adaptation is. The second adaptation is when you see him like this in 234, and he goes, "Good." That's when Mahoraga chops off Gojo's arm. And it's not just the second time that Mahoraga is able to bypass Infinity. It's the second time he's able to bypass Infinity because he has an additional adaptation, which is its target was not Gojo. It extended all the way to space, existence, in the world themselves, so as to cut them. And Sukuna goes, "That is something I can replicate." He goes, "Oh, okay. That is a way that Mahoraga adapted to and bypassed Infinity that I could replicate. I realize I can do that." And so he's seen it done, and now he can do it. Now, even if he had this theory on just cutting the world itself, it takes more than just thinking about it to be able to do something, right? I don't think Sukuna, even if he had this idea or this theory going into the fight, would have been able to just do it, right? Because if so, he would have just done it. Or he would have done it before. He would have done it after he saw the first adaptation. He would have gone, "All right, I waited for the second adaptation. It went as I had hoped. That wasn't meant to be a slash like the ones I launched. It was an extension of Cursed Targets," which means he had it in mind while he was waiting for it to happen. If he had it in mind, he should have been able to do it, right? No, because the fucking 227 tells you this. It's the same reason why Gojo couldn't just shrink his barrier into a tiny barrier just off doing it himself. He had to have the experience of knowing that it was possible by being in Prison Realm. The fact that Gojo was sealed in something this big with all this infinite space around them made him go, "Oh, I have this experience. I've observed this happening. Now I can replicate it." And that's how Tiny Barrier goes on. And it's the same way partially why Yuta is able to do it. But Yuta puts that on his barrier training with Gojo, which means he probably was taught the Tiny Barrier or the fact that was possible from Gojo. Or he upgraded his barrier technique enough to be able to try it after he saw Gojo do it and goes, "Okay, now I know that is possible." Like the extent of barrier techniques can be like really fucking stretched like that, and I see Gojo has done it. Now I can understand it. But yeah, people really say like Sukuna admitted he needed Mahoraga to beat Gojo. That's not what he says. He says he needed. He says I desired a model, not I needed a model to beat you. I desired one. And then he ends up like saying at the end, it was incredibly difficult technique to obtain, but I did quite have the wonderful model. Meaning, he never really needed the model in the first. He never really needed to obtain this technique in the first place. It was something he desired. It was something he wanted. That's one. And then two, and I can't tell if Gojo's smiling here in this panel in page 17 in 236. But yeah, that's the second cope. Is like, oh, Sukuna. Gege said that Sukuna without 10 shadows would have lost. That's bullshit. He said Gojo would have dodged. The only thing he says. The second bullshit cope is Sukuna himself. Like you see, there's a running theory here. There's a running pattern. That Sukuna himself says he wouldn't beat Gojo without Mahoraga. That's not what he says. He says, without Mahoraga, I would not have developed World Cutting Slash. And the reason why people conflate the second claim with this statement from Sukuna here, or like why they stretch it like that, is because World Cutting Slash is how Gojo died. So they go, he killed Gojo with World Cutting Slash. He needed Mahoraga to develop World Cutting Slash. Thus, he could not have beat Gojo without World Cutting Slash. You see, there's a gap there. There's a gap there, which is you have to have the statement of, I needed World Cutting Slash to beat you. The thing is, people misread the text, which is like, oh, he needed World Cutting Slash to bypass Infinity. But he only needed that outside of a domain. The domain clearly did that. So, like, it's a really weird thing that I've experienced with Gojo stands, because I'm only fascinated by this because I've never seen a fandom, what is it called, move with agenda but be serious about it, right? Because agenda is meant for jokes, like bush camper Yuta, Yuta ain't shit because even Kenjaku said he was ass, or like Law lied about his backstory so that people could feel bad for him. Like, there's agenda, or like Kid is trash or Captain Kid is trash from One Piece. There's agenda, and agenda is supposed to be funny and not necessarily backed by the text, but like you feel it in your heart anyway. Like, fuck it. The problem that Gojo stands have is that they take the agenda bit, but they also try to say it's backed up by text. So this is not an agenda anymore. This is a legitimate argument that I have and that I'm putting out there as something that is completely true. When, one, that's not how agenda is supposed to work. Agenda is supposed to be like, for the memes, basically. Two, you're making an argument that is actually not backed by text and that is fueled by either confirmation bias or just stan culture. I don't know. I don't really know the term for that. It's backed by what's it called? By spite, I guess, or like a hate for the writer, because it's not backed up by the text. And anytime you ask people about this, they fucking flip, bro. People say some wild shit. Like, you have Gojo here admitting, hey, that guy was definitely stronger. And people go, oh, that's the third cope. Ignore what Gojo said. Gojo was wrong. Gojo may have admitted that Sukuna was, one, stronger, and that, two, he gave it his all, but Sukuna didn't. Ignore that. He's just being humble. What part of him is being humble? He looks upset here. He's not like, he's literally like, he has faces of like, damn, I'm pissed off about it. I'm not being a sore loser, but I would at least admit that dude was stronger. And I at least can go out happy saying, I was beaten by someone who was stronger than me. Humble would be like, yeah, man, I guess I wouldn't be as strong. I wasn't as strong as I thought I was. No, he literally says, I gave it my absolute hardest. Like, I tried my hardest, and that guy didn't, and that guy beat me. It's like saying, and people have the nerve to say that he's being humble here, but like, you even have Geto here going, wow, someone made you admit that? Not like, oh wow, you're being too humble, or like, wow, it's cool to see your humble side, or like it's cool, it's nice to know that you have like a self-conscious side. Like, that's something that Geto would say that would confirm that. He goes, no, he made you admit that. And Gojo's like, yeah, like I get it. That dude is the strongest. I try to give him a run for his money. I tried my best to give him a run for his money, but I couldn't do it. And then the other cope that you see, like, there's so many fucking tangents that people could throw. Is like, well, Gojo was wrong because he had Sukuna on the ropes, or Gojo was wrong, or Gojo was lying here because Gojo was lying because he wasn't actually going out all out. He couldn't go all out because it was Megumi's body. But in the very first chapter of the fight, or I guess the second chapter of the fight, he goes, I have no problem with the fact that you look like Megumi. I've had special training because I killed his pops. So I'll fuck you up, and then we'll deal with how to save Megumi afterwards. Like, I'm gonna beat you, and then we're gonna deal with that afterwards. So yeah, there's so many copes that are not backed by text at all. I think that's my main thing. Is like, if it was an argument that was based off of like a misinterpretation of the text, then it'd be whatever. The problem is the inability to admit you had this specific piece of text wrong. That and this specific piece of text is what you're basing your entire argument on. So the entire foundation crumbles beneath it. It's not that you can't admit that that's wrong. It's that your cope after that is, well, here's another bullshit statement. It's like, okay, I can't chase people around with goalposts, so I just disengage after a certain point. But I haven't had to recently. And this came, honestly, this realization came because someone, like, bro, people DM me about this shit now. So 2 people have DM'd me. One was like toxic, but the first one was really nice. So the first one was someone be like, oh shit, like all right, well, let me just continue to poke holes. Like what is your argument? And then let me see what holes I can poke in it, and if it withstands, then fuck it. And then the person was really fucking kind, really cool. And they were like, all right, what about this? And I was like, well, this. And they're like, all right, well, what about that? And I was like, well, I think this. Let's look at it together. And we both looked at it together, and I was like, oh shit. That's when I realized 229 says physical healing. That the gap, the 0.01 second gap happens because of physical healing. I thought it was just like, what's it called? I thought honestly that Gojo was just faster, right? Because Yuta says that. Yuta says, wow, he opened his domain a little bit faster. But it tells you the panel below that, directly below that panel. But Yuta says, oh, his shit was just faster. It tells you why it's faster. Because Sukuna had to heal his curse technique. Or his curse technique healing lagged behind Gojo's because he had physical healing to do. Or because he had taken physical damage. Once I realized that, I was like, all right, I know the argument now. I know. I was like Sukuna in 118. Like, I see the path now. That not that I didn't have an argument before, but like I have something that I don't like. It's gonna take a lot to defeat that argument, because you have to just basically show like how Gojo gets UV off, right? Which is hard to do. I have a way to do it. I'm not gonna tell you that way. It's pretty simple. The thing is, people have not fucking said it. If people can give that scenario on how Gojo still gets unlimited void off on a Heian form Sukuna, without it being contested by his own domain, then we can have another conversation, right? Then we can say the fight ends exactly the same, or that it ends completely different. So, we'll see. We'll see if anyone ever We'll see if anyone ever brings that up. But as at this point, I've every time I present the argument of like, you have to 229 is crucial, because if 229 does not happen, then 230 happens perfectly fine. Meaning, if Sukuna does not get hit with unlimited void in 229, then he opens his barrier closed in 230. It's uncontested. Gojo has no way to escape. Gojo dies there. Even if he heals through it with reverse curse technique, because it's not enough. For 3 whole minutes. So, what is it called? If we ever get there, I will update you guys. But as of right now, the Gojo versus Sukuna debate is over. Like, I'm almost inclined to say this, because the original argument was episode 2 Sukuna with 20 fingers versus Gojo with no prison realm. And I still think Sukuna takes that, because he doesn't need to know the ins and outs of Infinity to go, I should not get hit with this nigga's domain. Like, should not be a thing. So, that was the original. But at this point, because of 229 or because of Mahoraga, I'm inclined to even say that a Meguna without 10 shadows, without having to worry about 10 shadows and adapting Mahoraga, beats Gojo. I think I can even say that. Because the only reason he lags behind is because of physical healing. Is because he takes hits from a limited void to adapt Mahoraga. It doesn't matter if it's Megumi Soul. It's still his brain. That's another thing I've heard, is that, well, he transferred all the damage to Megumi Soul. Yeah, but he's in Megumi's body. Like, and the thing that caused this in the first place is his damage to his brain. Like, you're saying there's 2 different brains. I didn't realize he was Kenjaku, whatever. If I ever see that argument, I will update you guys. But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, that is my TED Talk, my 30-minute TED Talk, on 40-minute TED Talk on JJK. I know I was going to talk about JJK, and now my voice is fucked. But yeah, that's where we're at. Sukuna still beats Gojo, guys. That's it. It's over. It's Heian form is just that different. Heian form is that much stronger in terms of output, that much more durable, and has way more shit in the vault, bro. Like, he can use more shit. Like, he has 2 cursed tools that, like, yeah, they're not gonna do much to Gojo, but like, if he wanted to use a cursed tool to do damage to the barrier, then like, no matter how you fucking piece it, dude, a Heian form Sukuna breaks Gojo's barrier faster, or he lasts longer than Gojo. It takes more time for Gojo to break him down enough for Shrine to collapse. Either way, there are 0 clashes that end in ties. Even if you give Gojo the Prison Realm boost so that he can create the tiny barrier, no matter how you piece it, Heian form does not need to turn off his Shore Hit, does not need to turn off Domain Amplification to adapt Mahoraga, so there's no 10 seconds of UV hitting, and there's no physical damage delay that causes him to open his 4th domain 0.01 seconds later. Heian form takes it. If there's no delay, Gojo never hits with Void. If there's no Mahoraga, Gojo never hits with Void at all. And then he runs out of his domains, and 230 happens just as Sukuna has planned. He sees Gojo unable to open another domain. He just tried to. He failed. And then he doesn't have brain damage. So Sukuna is able to just open up a closed barrier domain. That's it. It's over. There's no reverse curse healing through 3+ minutes of fucking straight up getting slashed, right? Especially if he has to run away or whatever, like create simple domain. There's nothing Gojo does within 3+ minutes to an uncontested domain, because an uncontested domain, closed barrier domain, is a win condition for either of them. It's a win condition for almost fucking anybody, bro. Except for Jogo, because there was such a difference in power. But like, even then, bro, like, Jesus Christ. Anyway, all right, so we're done. Sorry, I'm be real with y'all. I kind of spent the last 2 or 3 minutes of that trying to reframe that so I can cut that into a short a little bit easier, because I don't want to edit the fuck out of 40 minutes of Gojo versus Sukuna conversation. But yeah, there's a clear winner, bro. There's a clear winner, man. Just go read 262 if you need a reminder for how much longer a Heian form Sukuna would have been able to hold his domain against Gojo. Like, that, the proof is in the pudding, as they say. It's in the beans. All right, we out. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate y'all. I know I talked more about Gojo and Sukuna than One Piece, but tune in on Monday for 7:30 Monday for a Jujutsu Kaisen Modelo stream, catch up stream, talking about the episode.